I was really proud of our team and coaches. It's a good win for us. Kind of short-term notice, switched at the quarterback spot and had to make some adjustments. Really, just one day to prepare, and so I was really proud of Drew, the way he took care of the ball and not turned it over. We are a very disciplined team. We had 2 penalties for 25 yards. The pass interference at the end is pretty debatable. Feet are tangled up. So I mentioned that to the team. They've continued to be a very, very disciplined team. I thought that the plans on both sides of the ball were fantastic. And then, in the second half, we just started riding Chuba. He had a 200-yard day, rushing and passing. West Virginia's had a lot of success on defense. Some of the things they do kind of forced us to migrate into throwing the ball to him some more so than him running. So it worked out good for us. I don't know what he had, 88 yards in reception. So with his rushing, right at 200 yards for the day. So it was a really good day for him. And then Jim and them did a nice job. They had a good game plan. Brought a lot of pressure in the second half, particularly on the last 2 drives. And our guys understood down and distance in the secondary. Early in the year in a couple games, we brought pressure in those situations and didn't do a good job of understanding down and distance, whether it was 3rd and 4 or 3rd and 12. We've been hurt some this year in long yardage, not understanding down and distance, and we corrected it, put a plan in place, and we went through with it, and it worked today. So it's a good win. You come out here, you play early in the morning, and kind of a dreary day, and in the second quarter we were blah. We just were blah. Came in at halftime, the guys kind of self-started again a little bit and came out. Defense went down and got a field goal. Defense got a stop. Sean and Casey then said we need to play with more tempo. Started playing fast like we used to, and we thought it was an advantage for us. Maybe it caught them off guard a little bit. And we were able to throw and catch. Obviously, Stoner had another good day. I don't know what he did. 62 yards. So Chew was the leading receiver and rusher. So anyway, good win for us. And, we'll get ready. I told him to enjoy it tonight and get ready to come back to work tomorrow.
Tempo. It seemed like Drew really settled in at that point too.
And that's why we went to it. He did that out west. I say west, way out west at Hawaii, and so he's comfortable with that. But I was really proud of him. 22 of 29, 200 yards passing, 2 TDs, and we didn't protect for him very well in the first half. To be honest with you, he played real good. Now that I think about it, because we didn't protect very good in the first half. He played pretty good now, and that's not easy. And also, he didn't get over aggressive. He managed the game well. Quarterbacks that can manage the game well give you a chance to win.
How much of this experience, past experience, I know this is the first start game, played into him?
Big time. Big time. I mean, I told the staff on Tuesday, I said, he's going to be, when we started to kind of lean toward Spencer wasn't going to really do much, I said, he's going to be nervous, but he has played. And, he's played probably at places like Boise and Fresno and San Diego State and all that, so it helped. But his demeanor in practice and his demeanor today and his ability to process information in the game and on the sideline was excellent.
You didn't do much of the quarterback run game. How much is that just he's not Spencer, and how much is you can't afford to give him like that?
Both. You sit in our staff meetings, so I started calling for it in the second half, and Sean ran some of it. And they weren't really wanting to, but they started really, because we didn't have that, they were running with Chuba. Wherever Chuba went, they were going, which is pretty smart. So we started doing some of it in the third quarter and the early fourth quarter, and it helped us a little bit. It got us a few yards and offset our tendencies, and then it got Chew free a little bit. But, there's no secret. You've got to be smart. I mean, when you're in the position we got to protect our guys best we can, but we also have to do what we can do to win. So both of the examples that you brought up were the same thing we talked about in our staff meetings.
You talked about game plan. West Virginia's had multiple quarterbacks that have got banged up in the secondary. How much do you prepare for personnel as opposed to how much you prepare for scheme?
Both. We have to do both. the quarterback played really good last week in Manhattan. Very similar to the way our guy played today. And for whatever reason, I think their guy played good today. I don't think he turned it over either, did he? No. So I mean, I think he played. He's 28 to 38 for 300. So he had a good day today. The difference being that Jim got really aggressive in the third quarter and the fourth quarter, and we were able to put some hits on him. But he played good. I mean, that's a good day for him. And then, you try to attack scheme at times. We felt like we had some advantages there. So it's kind of a mixture of both. But I just went blank on their coordinator. Vic Coney. I've known Vic a long time. Used to be at Kansas State, and actually we interviewed him for the job when Jim got it. And he had some really good schemes today on some things. Did a nice job, and he's done a good job all year. So they're not as easy to match up from a personnel standpoint with what you mentioned, because see, they played 3 down. Last week at Kansas State they played all 4 down, and then today we got a dose of both. So we had to be careful about not trying to set too much up based on personnel or scheme, because you got to be careful about repping a lot of stuff that won't fit into the schemes that they give you.
Mike, you said you started riding the shoe bump in the fourth quarter. Then that drive that put you ahead, you ended up
Just throwing
a
it.
lot.
Mhm.
Why? What happened to open up the passing game?
Just before that, we were riding him a little bit, okay? And then they packed all down in the box, and that's when we ended up throwing it. So, I mean, it's the basic, you take what they give you. But Drew hit about 4 throws in a row there. Nice balls, and Stoner and Wachu caught one, Stoner caught a couple, and I think 5, Braden caught a couple. So we were able to get him going, and then they packed it in, then had to throw it a little bit.
You want to speak of all calls play on defense?
Yeah, I thought they were great. It's harder for me to talk about that front 7 on offense or defense, because there's so much stuff going on, I can't see it all. But it looked like that we got really good backer play today. He had, I know he had 11 tackles, so he played well. It was interesting. He didn't feel good this week. He didn't practice very good. He just kind of under the weather, didn't feel good, so I was really concerned about that. But obviously, he got over it and played well today.
Sterling and Kobe also had.
I know.
They really played well for
I
you.
know, they did. Well, both of them missed a tackle on one play on that first bubble or whatever that pass was. But other than that, they've played good. Peel is he's having a big year. I mean, his play is fantastic. And, Trey was out there today and made a bunch of plays. We got some pressure up front at times with our 3 and 4 man. Obviously, we got pressure when we blitzed them, but it's interesting in the first half. Sometimes we got 0 pressure, and sometimes we had good pressure. There was no in between, so I was kind of torn on what to do, whether to pressure them or not. And Jim decided to go ahead and put more pressure on them, which it worked out.
3rd and long, and then at the end of the game, you rushed 6. I think.
We
And,
4 times.
It
Yeah.
worked out well. So 4th and 12, you do it, except I think about 7 that time. Is there a tendency to say, hey, let's switch, because we just
Well, we thought about it. We thought about playing coverage, but we all kind of said, hey, you might as well. I mean, they're either going to tie the game here, or you're going to win. And not trying to be sarcastic, but it's a big difference in 4th and 12 and 4th and 5, because now you can play your guys off, and he's got 1.8 seconds to get rid of the ball because somebody's coming unblocked. And then if you just stay off and rally and tackle, you should be in good shape. But you still got to do it, and when you do it, everybody's like, eh. So.
Coach, I know last night you went to watch your son
Uh-huh.
water.
Mhm.
You still made it here with the game. What's it like to be able to do that?
Well, it's those are special times for me. I don't have hobbies. These guys that follow me around, this is my life, and my kids are my life. That's all I do. And I've missed a lot of his games. He's been playing for 4 years, but he's a senior and he's a state semifinals. It's just not something I could pass up on. And the truth of the matter is this: if it was something that was really important, I would tell you guys. We did all of our work yesterday. We have all of our meetings, special teams meetings, practice, position meetings, run-throughs, walk-throughs. I meet with them, talk to them. they grab a sandwich and get on a plane. They land here, they put their stuff in their room, they eat dinner, and then we don't see them till this morning. They don't even know. I bet half the guys didn't even know I wasn't there, truthfully. And if they can't take care of themselves for about 7 or 8 hours, we got serious issues. Plus, Coach Dunn's here. I mean, he's second in charge. He took over and probably did a better job than I did. But here's the interesting thing. I bet if you polled them, I bet half of them wouldn't even know I wasn't here. Because they don't see. They all set up in first class and they get the good seats. The coaches sit in the cabin seats, and so a lot of times they don't even know if. I'm sure they know, but they don't even see me on the plane. Some of those knuckleheads probably didn't even know I wasn't there. They probably just thought, hey, he must have missed dinner last night or something. But that's the first time that's happened for me in 15 years. I'm not going to pass up an opportunity like that when they're seniors.
I know you're gonna have extra company.
You talking about with that bum to your left? As soon as they found out I was going on Thursday, they started politicking outside my office. But they have those guys got a job to do, and basketball needs them, so it worked out good. So they got to cover basketball and then jump in late and cover football, and it's no big deal. I'm a nice guy. I waited an hour for them. I was sitting there at 9:30 ready to go, and they got there at 10:20, but it's not that big a deal. We all work together.
Mike Witt, you've had a bunch of big wins, and I'm not saying this is historic or anything, but to go on the road and win with a backup quarterback
Good
in an
win.
emergency situation, it's got to be a really satisfying victory,
It
not
is.
just for you and Drew, but everybody, really.
Yeah. Well, you hit it on the head. The levels of victory at times are somewhat based on what your situation is, and we make a transition in the middle of the week based on quarterback, and you come out here. You're going a long ways from home. You're playing early in the morning, as I said. It's kind of dreary and a little bit chilly, and you're just set up for a lot of different things, but. The reason we're having success is because the defense is playing good. I mean, these are like real games now, like 20-13. It's like the way football used to be, and people are huddling up. They played with a little bit of turbo. We played with more turbo today than we have in a month, and so these are almost like real football games. And they got us a little bit rushing the football in the second quarter. Our nose guard was out of place based on the scheme. They had a nice little, their center was turning back on the nose guard, and they were gashing us, in the A gap there for a few plays. So Jim made an adjustment, moved the nose guard over in the gap, brought the linebacker up closer, and from that point on, they didn't get any more yards on that play. But Jim and the defense have done a nice job over the last 6 weeks. And offensively, Chuba's been through the roof. That's a whole different cat. But otherwise, we've had success the last 6 weeks, for the most part, based on our defense. They've kept us in games. They keep putting us back on the field. So, he played on the road, give up 13 points. And West Virginia's, you don't really know what you're getting with them. There's games they play pretty good, and then there's games I'm sure that Neil wished they played a lot better. That's a good day for them.
What's the extent of Spencer's injury? Is it a deal where he had the option of trying to play through it, or just the doctor
No.
said he's done, he's getting cut on?
I don't know the term other than it's a lot like what Drew Brees had. It's interesting. He played 3 series last week with it, and basically his thumb is, he doesn't have any attachments. I don't know what it's called. I think there's a ligament or something in there. I made a C in biology, so did better in kinesiology. But for the most part, he threw the ball to Stoner, the long pass, and he didn't have any thumb. So he's a competitive little guy. He's kind of like, he's like the Tasmanian devil. He just keeps rolling all the time. And finally, the doctors made him come out, and then they went down on Tuesday. I don't know, whatever day they said he needs to get it fixed. So 4 to 5 weeks.
So he could be back to the ball class.
He could. Mm-hmm. Could.
You actually know what kinesiology is?
He studied the human body.
I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
asking you.
It's the study of the human body. Yeah.
It's different than anatomy.
Anatomy is the study of a different human body. I think kinesiology is actually more into this, like the cells and the fiber and it's a movement. See, there you go. Are you should be in that instead of journalism.
Oh, I'm in engineering.
Oh,
We're only
I'm out. I have a good story about that because my middle son wants to be in engineering, and y'all know my 15-year-old. You know he's a goofball, and so I asked him the other day. I said, "How's your classes going?" And he said, "They're going great, dude. And I'm doing good." Okay, I said, "That's good." I said, "You keep it up now. It's important." He said, "The only thing I'm worried about is math." He said, "I don't know if I'll do real good in math." I said, "Well, you're doing good. I saw where you had like a 91." And he goes, "Yeah, but they've started putting letters with the numbers now." He said, "That's a problem for me." So I said, "Well, I hate to admit it, but it was a problem for me also." So anyway, you guys good? All right, y'all have a safe
Will
trip
the
back.
practicing coordinators back upstairs, like the tunnel between